Do you still remember me, Alex?
Do you still?
Alex?
Do you even still? Hey guys, this is Eternal Darkness, the best game.
Welcome to Complete in
Shucks!
Eat,
Whatever.
where Spencer eats food
Homemade cookies
and bagels.
and a bagel that I did not make.
As you remember, we got that chapter page from 88 Keys, and Brandon was an idiot. Okay, let's start this part.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I just remembered that.
Much
I
has
mean,
been
I
written
knew,
about the
but-
exploits of conquerors. In the
Now
context
this,
of
in my
history,
opinion,
one
is
man's
the worst
champion
chapter,
is another
but even
man's
then it's
nemesis.
still pretty decent.
Is this the fat guy?
Or murderer.
How
Oh,
fat?
Much has
Like
been
400
written.
pounds rolling fat?
But what is not is far
about
more
half as fat as
interesting.
you.
Oh, okay.
The
That's
Tome
pretty-
of
that's like
Eternal
400.
Darkness
It's still, like,
mentions a
humongous.
Venetian artist and architect of the Renaissance named Roberto Bianchi. Roaming abroad to find inspiration, he was captured by a warlord expanding his empire. He forced Roberto to use his architectural and engineering skills to construct a monument to his greatness.
Ah, yes. I remember
To
this.
complete his task, he
1460.
must survey the site.
Literally almost 2,000 years after Augustus became Augustus already, and it's still 500 years in the past.
Yeah, Augustus doesn't move his plans along very fast.
Survey the
does he?
site quick,
No,
dog.
no he doesn't.
And maybe you'll live long enough to see the sacrament's construction.
Okay.
That's a nice way to get workers to work.
Do your work or die.
But then at the end they're like, we'll probably
Did
kill you
think
anyway.
We would trust you, Bianchi. Even though you are graced with the generosity of our liege, you are still his prisoner. As I said, finish your work quickly, and maybe we'll drag you out of this hole.
Okay. Okay.
Roberto must survey the ruins of the ancient temple. The rooms he must survey can be found on the map. Only when these areas have been inspected can the construction begin. So this guy, he's fat, he doesn't move fast, you just have to survey rooms. There's a lot of backtracking. There's nothing really fascinating with this chapter, so we'll just try to get it done
He
as
likes
fast
it
as
a
possible.
lot.
If this is...
aren't like some parts like falling apart because it's been like 2,000 years?
Yeah.
Just scurry.
But even if this is the worst chapter, this is a fantastic game, because even like this chapter, it's okay.
Whoa.
I'm just comparing it to the rest of the game. Know what I mean?
Oh.
You know what they say about albums?
Can you light them on
Like,
fire?
AKA, like music albums. You base an album on the worst track. AKA Revolver by Beatles' worst track is... Well, I guess Yellow Submarine.
That's the best song.
But that's still
That's actually the best song
a really
they ever
catchy
made.
song. I'm just saying, dog.
How does it go? We all...
No, because I guess. She's a day tripper. That's pretty much it. Where'd that tome, dog? Tome of Eternal Darkness.
Don't get it yet. You get it at some arbitrary spot that doesn't really matter. But you just don't get it right away.
Even though they're monsters? Cause
You
like
can see
norm-
monsters without the tome. Excuse me?
These monsters were called out in the name of Zelototh.
Cool.
Ulia. Pargon. Pargon. Pargon.
They dead. Or more dead.
It's funny because going back on this game after several years, I remember everything once I see it, but there's some characters, if you were like, name all the characters, I would totally forget this guy.
Yeah.
I'd remember the monk, I remember Alex, obviously, I remember the Maximilian Roivas. But if you were like, hey, remember that guy that surveys, I'd be like,
Whoa, that was really good surveying you did there.
He just looks at it and he's like, mental note, dude.
Mental note, dude, it's falling
you
apart.
get it right here. You're just like, let's get
Show me the newest one, show me the newest one. that feel.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
His statue is cool though.
I'm sorry, Pius Lupo. Does this guy talk?
A little bit.
Oh.
He doesn't even say stuff so far like, this isn't happening!
Uh-oh.
I guess it would be a totally
What am I
different...
stuck on?
I guess it would be a totally different thing if those things actually hurt you, but they're really just a minor inconvenience.
Yeah, they just waste like half a minute at most. Okay, I'm not gonna do this room. Just goodbye. These guys aren't worth killing. They do way more harm killing them than they do good.
I'll let you live another 500 years until somebody comes by. That seems like a structural unintegrity, Trevor. Do you think you should survey that with those monsters? Hey, yeah, so... I mean, stuff's falling apart, but I think more importantly, there are monsters.
Like a lot of
Do you think before we work on the scaffolding, we should work on the fact that there's monsters?
He did.
And the guys are probably like, what?
We'll kill you! And then they do.
Glorious Pargon Master Race. And to think you could easily miss.
Okay, so right here, if you don't grab the summoning rune or the codex for it, you can get screwed because you have to do this. But you can get to this area without the ability to summon things, and then you're trapped.
When do you get it in this part or in a previous part?
You get it during the Indiana Jones level.
I'm glad we've dubbed it that.
Yeah, because you have to summon zombie, right?
Yeah, you have to.
So pretty much if you miss any rune, it's over.
Well, there's a lot of times when there's doors that are convenient placeholders of you have to get the runes, but it doesn't require you to get the codex for them,
True.
which is what you need to actually use them. There are some trappers in this room as well. I probably can't get past these, but I will try.
Brandon gets scared of these, just like he gets scared of, what was the thing he hated in Super Mario Galaxy?
Yeah, it's right.
Eating things.
It's literally right there.
So... Oh,
Wow.
okay. And then you get...
Round 1 complete. I did not think that was possible, honestly.
Speed run, technically.
That's a big key. That's a monster.
He gone.
That wasn't too bad. The red ones control you really quickly because they can just drain your health so fast. So as you see, it's like, oh, there's a little thing. So you use a little bit of
Reveal invisible?
Reveal invisible. I have to make that spell. Narcoth and Regamore.
If only every character, when you killed stuff, were like, did what Maximilian did,
Paragon.
and did the, whatchamacallers, the, autopsies.
Oh, yeah.
Fascinating.
Only this guy would be like, huh.
He does say words, but it's not for a while. I don't know. It just seemed like this was one that they added very late in development and either didn't have enough time to fully finish it or they just added it in, like, just with the game.
Do you guys remember that? This is the question of the part. The answer is yes or no. Do you guys remember when they released... Oh, excuse me.
Help me, Grandpa. I can't take this anymore.
Don't
That's
be
me when I
sorry,
read books.
Alex. You have a stronger mind than this. I didn't bring up a weakling. Not a scared wretch of a girl.
You kept all this from me. You kept me alone.
He gets mean
You
sometimes.
shared nothing with me.
I couldn't.
Or is it
I
her
could
just
never
going
give you the
insane?
burden. I just wanted you to grow
TR00.
up
True.
and leave me alone.
I'm gonna go with the latter.
You've been killed with your parents.
She just goes back to reading. Anyway, do you guys...
This isn't really happening.
He sounds like a fat guy. Anyway, do you guys remember when they released
no way I'm
when they
getting
released video games, and like if there was a problem with it, it went down in history as being a bad game, whereas nowadays they can release a game that is completely broken and just be like, we'll just patch it in a week and it's fine.
How did you just get by that?
Holy crap!
Nice.
I don't think I've ever done that.
Do you remember that, Brandon?
Yeah.
Alex showed me this link from the official like Batman Arkham Origins like forum or whatever, where the developers were like, "Hey, we're really sorry," and
So after you inspect this room, all these people will start attacking you, and obviously they have those monsters inside them. But instead of like noticing them because they don't do any sanity things, I just leave. And the loudest soundtrack of all time.
But yeah, I was reading it, and they were like listening to problems
Is that what just came out?
yeah,
With that
it
Batman?
just came out, and they were listening to problems that people were having, and some of them were minor, like glitches, and like glitches are glitches, you know what happens. But the one was like unable to progress story after a certain point, and I was like, unable to progress story. What? And like the other stuff is like forgivable. If you play Battlefield 4, it's a huge game. It's like, yeah, we had some graphical glitches, whatever. But it's like, yeah, you get to about 50% through the game and you can't progress the story because of it.
Yeah, that's good. We'll patch it.
Any game that came out before like 2009, it was like, it existed. It was a game. Oh, this is.
Good cutscene.
I remember
monsters.
that. I remember that cutscene.
Just looking at the cutscenes and just everything in this level, I just think it was one of those things where they either were rushed in completing it or they just added it very quickly at the end of development.
I could definitely see
just
that.
to make the game longer.
I could definitely see
It's just the cutscenes are like 2 seconds. There's barely any voice acting. The level is just boring. I don't know, dude. So right here, I didn't explain it, but right here, I have to cast a shield spell because this floor can hurt you. Now, when I was a kid and I didn't know what was going on, I didn't do this, so you can get past it without, if you have full health, like you can get past that, like barely, without shielding it up, but I'm not bad at video games anymore. At least I try not to be.
I'm bad.
2 out of 3 of us are good at video games.
Yep.
This guy has so little MP too, it's really annoying. I think I had full MP and that took like literally every bit of it. I'll be doing this spell one time.
I mean, why else would you ever use it? Go, my zombie minion.
Okay, so next room I'm going to recover some stamina because I'm just going to be running through it.
Oh.
These things now have 7-point spells where they can just summon
Trappers.
not trappers. They can summon horrors whenever they want to.
And those are those huge things.
So like killing them, like if you get close to them, they'll do spells. So it's totally not worth trying to kill them before they summon like 2 horrors, which is what they usually do.
Venture no further, or be struck down where you stand.
Who? What?
I am the guardian of this temple, the Forbidden
Oh, hey.
City. None shall
The
enter
friend zone
except
guy.
the chosen. Speak. You are the chosen. For many years, I have tested those who came here, and
How many
all
people
have
came?
failed.
Just like 200 bodies in the corner.
Dude, it was like
By the power I
it was like 500 years. There had to be like at least one person every couple years.
I? Once I was as you were, confused and without answers. Yet they came in time. Now my duty is complete. I can finally rest. My sacrifice was not in vain.
That guy's
Actually,
life.
it might have been more than 500 years.
I forget exactly.
Yeah,
Now
It
you
might have
can
been
go with
1,000
the
years.
ugly woman.
Great. That look on his face is like, great. I get to be freaking with her.
Poop my butt.
What was he guarding again?
This relic?
Touch it with your hands.
Yeah, touch it with your hands, guy. He can feel the acidic touch. Oh, so those effigies, you don't really need to have them, but for each time, there's 3 of them, and you get them each playthrough of this place, and if you get all 3, you'll get the enchanted gladius for... what's her face? Alex?
Wait, so if you get all 3 of them each time?
Yes. Or, no, the one of them, and then it carries over.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, so this
I
is the
think that is
temple
it.
you were at with
Yeah, this is
the
the
other
very
guy.
This is the very beginning with Pius Augustus, where you pick which
Crap, I forgot to...
side you want to go on.
Dang it, dude.
Survey one of the rooms.
Yeah, I have to go back to the worm room. I forgot to do that, because I'm an idiot.
Uh-oh.
What? Get out of here, dude. Get out of here! I don't care. That was a... For some reason, like, even though that zombie wasn't close to me, it was still, like, trapping me. It was weird.
Yeah, I think you were caught on the side or something.
It wasn't even close to me, but I couldn't move, so whatever.
Dat trapper. One zombie. Hey, bud.
Close.
Sometimes you come in here and there's like 10 horrors, and you're like, freaking great, I'm actually gonna die.
What? You can just avoid them.
I guess that's true.
Also, if they spawn on the teleport pads, if you go to wherever they are standing, they'll just explode. It's pretty satisfying. This is just out of the way. I can't believe I forgot that. I would have been done with this place. All you have to do is go back to the beginning, and then you're done. So this chapter pretty much had nothing in it.
I think he said like 8 words this entire time.
He said,
Who?
"Who? What? I." And I think that's it so far.
The only other thing he said was, this... Which they probably just threw in. They were like, hey, one of the voice actors just act fat. Okay. Okay. They said, sound like Brandon. And he was like, yeah, okay.
They knew.
And that is it.
My survey is, it's freaking messed up, dog. Did you get the 3rd effigy?
No, you. What I'm saying is that of the 3 eras, you get 1 of each.
But you have 2.
Yes, I only get. You got the 1 when you were the Persian guy. You get 1 while you're this guy, and then you get the next one.
Oh, okay. I understand what you're saying now. So the sapphire one, yeah, no, I can check.
You get the emerald one of the next guy who does this area.
Word. It's time to 5, Brand.
Yeah.
Stop being fat, guy.
Don't.
Dude, I can't wait until you
Don't
can play
make fun of me.
to play the guy that never gets tired from running.
Glorious Master Race not getting tired.
Also, the next guy I have to play as, he's a lot skinnier, but he gets just as tired. It's dumb.
I mean, it is a good point. You brought this up earlier. Like, the getting tired in games like this thing is like, how unnecessary is it? Like, freaking, like, a big example from when I was younger growing up is Grand Theft Auto 3. I know that one does not have unlimited sprint. And just, like, the point of the game is to run around and, like, just do stuff. And, like, all it does is inhibit you by having to be like, oh,
But
he's
it's
tired.
like real life.
I guess.
The biggest one is freaking Call of Duty. Like,
Oh, yeah, the biggest one is definitely Call
That
of
one's
Duty.
actually the most unrealistic, though.
you like sprint for 2 seconds and you're like, oh.
I find that
I
one-
may be trained
I find that when I play that game, all I do is constantly just press right thumbstick. Like,
Yeah,
please let me run.
the guy in this game, it kind of makes sense because the guy who never gets tired is like professionally trained, so he never gets tired. But like if you're like a military guy, why do you get tired in 2 seconds?
Even Battlefield has like, hey, I can not get tired every second. But I mean that actually probably is the biggest problem with the game, besides the user base and how they're all the same.
And how FPSs are stupid.
Agreed. Unless it's time splitters.
What? Time Splitters, a good 10-year-old game?
Deal with it.
I mean, there's good FPS games, Doom and Time Splitters and stuff like that, but
Half-Life.
there hasn't been any for a long
Half-Life
time.
1 is peak cool.
And we're done.
And he dies.
And what news do you bring me,
He
Architect?
talks a lot of words here.
The foundations are infested. Demons and devils. Many lives will be lost if you try to build there.
You have done well to complete your goal, Bianchi.
I wonder who that is.
The construction will continue as planned.
But the demons! You'd be insane to build there.
Silence, dog! What dwells beneath the Forbidden City is the very reason it was built. For you to understand, you must witness it firsthand. Let me educate you. Guards! Put this one with the others of the sacrifice. I am the Scourge of God, appointed to chastise you, since no one knows the remedy for your iniquity except me.
This guy sucks.
You are wicked, but I am more wicked than you. So be silent. Now you, Architect, you are about to make your largest contribution to this project.
He died.
The worst death in the world.
Maybe he's okay. He's dead.
Is that the monument? Oh.
That feel. They just threw him down and put freaking like
Concrete or something.
concrete. Yeah.
Whatever the equivalent of 1500 civilization
Yeah.
is.
That feel. I mean, he had no character. You didn't know anything about him, but you were still like, dang, I feel bad for this guy. The moons are aligning. She's like, oh, I'm so bored. Let's go shopping.
Should Alex try to survey this area?
Okay.
Are you supposed to figure that one out?
Yeah, when I was replaying this to rejuvenate my memory of it, like I was like, where do I go?
Should Alex try to? That's hard. Good guys on the left. Good guy on the right.
The Black Guardian grows restless, my liege. Its hunger increases, and the binding continues to weaken. We feed it flesh, but I fear it will not guard the relic too much longer.
There is no choice in the matter. It
Dark
must
blood.
remain and guard the artifact until the time of planetary alignment. After that, the Guardian may return to its lair. Our master does not like failure. It is imperative to keep the binding intact.
Then we have to find more flesh and bone.
It's funny how Augustus is like this super hardcore bad guy, but he's like my master.
Yeah, he's just
The
a
war
dog.
to end all
Yeah.
wars redefined how mankind looked at
Yes.
war and the value of human life.
I love this one.
Arguably the worst
Over
chapter to the best chapter.
19,000 men lost
What's
their
that?
lives
I said
every day in
arguably the
trenches
worst
of
chapter
Somme.
to the best
Yeah,
chapter.
this chapter
Some say
rules.
uselessly.
Base
Some
church
Invoke a higher cause.
takes place in that church, Brandon.
I read accounts of the slaughter from many journalists who spent time in the trenches. But I found the account of a certain Peter Jacob to be the most horrible of all.
GameCube's
His
rating was.
implication about the ancients' involvement with the war was hideous and so
As well as the
obvious.
Dreamcast.
With the horror of the Battle of the Somme
That's
scant
also true.
miles away and the distant echoes of pounding artillery, a young journalist named Peter Jacob researched his latest story from the front lines.
1916, World
His
War.
grim task brought him to
The war
Orlier
to end all wars, World War
now
One.
transformed into a field hospital.
War has changed.
No solace in the purpose behind all the senseless violence that surrounds me. Young men die at a rate unheard of in centuries of warfare. Shelling, machine guns, and mustard gas rip, pierce, and burn their flesh. Men soak gauze in their own urine to stop the insidious gas. The hospitals here cannot cope with the torrent of wounded.
It's funny how things focus on World War II so much more. So like seeing World War One, you're like, what?
Yeah, I always forget about World War One.
I actually forget how it started. I know that sucks, and I'm sorry.
I don't remember either.
History class was so long ago. You wanna, Spencer?
I was admitted to this hospital on Tuesday. The damage caused to my legs was slight, but there's no way that I could ever walk normally again. I hate this place. Every day I am reminded that I will never be able to do the things I love. The hospital is a very strange place. Converted from an old cathedral, there is an odd atmosphere around it. Silent but for the words of the wounded calling out in the night. There is no doubt it is haunted. What I find most odd is this place is that you never see anyone leave during the day. It's not right. No goodbyes or farewells, just an empty bed when you awake. It's weird because like the tone of that was like, well, I guess I'm crippled, but it wasn't like, oh, it was like, yeah, I guess this happened. Like, that's friggin' fact of life. Unseal it.
So it's just, I don't know if it has words. Okay.
Private Thompson. By order of Lieutenant Hargraves, on behalf of HRH George V, you are to leave your post of duty and rally in the streets outside Ououbli Cathedral. Further orders will be presented at the rallying point. God save the king.
So these are soldier orders. There are a bunch of soldiers guarding areas that you can't go into, so use this to sort of lure one away. I'm tired already. Cool. This guy runs fast, but he's just a big baby. But the good thing is that, look at that magic.
Oh my goodness. He doesn't seem like he's a trained war guy.
No, he's just a journalist.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Guard unfolds the orders.
Bloody hell, lad, we must be on the offensive. Oh boy. I love the way they wrote that. Yeah.
Good old dead bodies.
I know they like put him in something like a fire
Because
or
they
something.
can't do anything.
Good stuff happens. That
And then
feel.
you get.
I'm sorry, Peter.
So the lights go out and
Let me see the guy. Let me
things
see the guy. Let me
happen.
see the guy.
Robert Bianchi. I'm fat. Not even as fat. Okay, maybe not as. I mean, not as fat as Maximilian, but way less cool.